Hello, lunatics, and welcome to Columbus, the capital of Ohio. As always, we're sponsored by Get Go Cafe and Market, where this month they are selling some hoagies and cheesesteaks, which right about now would sound really good.
You're a big cheesesteak guy from Philly, and they're
Don't say that.
Yeah, God. Yeah, anyway, so the Penguins, two pretty big losses in Brian Russ and Chad Ruhwedel, with an already depleted defense. Brian Russ, I believe it's his left leg. It's definitely a lower body injury.
Lower body.
And then Ruhwedel, it's an upper body. I believe it's his right arm.
No luck for these guys right now. I mean,
No.
you're talking about you're missing Chris Letang and Brian Dumoulin, their top defense pair. Two more guys go down tonight. I think you can see why. Almost fortunate that the Penguins only had the two injuries. I mean, the way this game was being played.
Yeah.
You know, Jared McCann was saying this rivalry isn't as intense as the one with the Flyers, which might be the case, but it's pretty intense.
Yeah, and luckily the Penguins don't play again until Friday.
Correct.
I don't believe they'll need to call up another defenseman. Gudbranson, his immigration issues, I believe, should be fixed by then. And then even then, Letang Dumoulin day to day.
Yep.
So I don't believe they'll need to call up another defenseman. Maybe Trotman does stay up though. So yeah, it definitely could have been a lot worse, but definitely not what they want to have happen after, the Stadium Series game.
No, I mean, this was a pretty impressive victory for the Penguins. I mean, given the injuries, and this is a Columbus team that was celebrating some of the new guys coming in here.
Yeah.
And here the Penguins are, we thought might be down after the Flyers lost and the way in which they lost. But I was really impressed with them for pretty much the full 60 minutes. I know Mike Sullivan wasn't real great, real proud of that second period, but I think by and large, the Penguins will take this performance.
Yeah, well, I mean, what they did with the pairings, and, some guys had to step up and play big minutes, and I mean, they came away with the win.
Yeah, they came away with the win and got contributions up and down the lineup.
So the Blue Jackets made some big deals on the trade deadline, and they had acquired Duchesne, Dzingel, Kincaid, and Adam McQuaid. And Adam McQuaid, this is their first game all together. The Penguins kind of spoiled that debut.
Yes, they did. I mean, obviously a lot of excitement here in Columbus for the Blue Jackets. They get Matt Duchesne. A lot of people saying Columbus won the trade deadline. Okay, first game, they certainly didn't win the game here tonight. Really didn't get much from those guys other than Adam McQuaid, the guy who took out Brian Russ. So he certainly made an impression on the people here, but it was strange because the Penguins really only made minor tweaks right before the deadline, and one of those, Eric Goodbranson not here tonight. Obviously, we still got the immigration issues, but one of the guys they got at the beginning of the month was Jared McCann from the Florida Panthers, and it was McCann who had the biggest impact on this game by scoring 2 goals, including a very clutch goal there in the third period. Yeah,
I mean, that was the real biggest deal leading up to the deadline, and when they made that trade, Bukestad was the real get.
Yeah.
Everyone was excited about Bukestad. I think McCann was secondary in everyone's mind. But yeah, McCann's really turned out to be quite the get for the Penguins.
Yeah, Mike Sullivan was saying, I was talking to him about secondary scoring and, of course, how important that becomes at this time of year. Well, that was a pretty big two secondary scoring goals that they got from McCann, and he was commenting on his shot. And I think as you saw in that second goal, he has a pretty sneaky good shot.
Yeah, he does. And I mean, we shouldn't dismiss the Blue Jackets acquisitions. I mean, this is going to be a tough team once they build some chemistry. That's a lot of new guys to get at once. Once they build some chemistry, that's going to be a tough team leading into the playoffs. They're lucky they didn't lose McQuaid in this game because he did hurt himself on the rust injury, but then he ended up coming back. But yeah, this is going to be a tough team with Duchesne.
Yeah, and the Penguins will see these guys 2 more times next weekend, so buckle up, as they say.
Chris, it's hard to believe that this is the Penguins' first game in Columbus this season. This is Jack Johnson's homecoming since coming to the Penguins. Not the warmest reception from the Blue Jackets fans. I mean, when he was introduced, in the lineups, he got some boos, and then they played his tribute video. Pretty mixed reaction there.
Mixed at best. I'd say a smattering of applause. I did notice a few people give him a little bit of a standing ovation.
The end, definitely boos at first, but but what a game for him in his debut. All the Penguins defensemen had to step up.
Yep.
With Ruhwedel out, and I mean, I've ripped Jack Johnson a lot. Like a lot of people she ripped Jack Johnson, but I mean, these past few games.
Well, he's had to take on a much bigger role. I mean, they're down some defensemen. They're down, 4 in Philadelphia, 5 tonight or last night in Columbus. He's played big minutes before in his career. He just hasn't done it really lately because obviously the way it ended in Columbus, and I think that's a sore subject for Jack Johnson, the way it ended.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I think nobody took more satisfaction out of this victory than Johnson.
Yeah, and he and Schultz, that was one pairing that they kept together, because after Ruedel went down, they mixed up the pairings.
Rotated it.
Yeah. They all mixed up. They kept that one together just because they kept him in this game.
Yeah, I mean, two veteran guys, Schultz and Johnson, they got the job done. And actually, Johnson got the assist on Sidney Crosby's empty net goal there at the end that kind of sealed the deal. So you could tell this one meant a little something to Jack Johnson. He was asked, if this was a statement game, and he said he didn't disagree with that, but he said, we know we have a hell of a team here.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens with the pairings with Goodbranson coming into the lineup soon. Yeah, this could be the defense could have a different look next game on Friday, but I mean, yeah, they look great today.